This is Kevin Martin again, coming to you from the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. We just had our first podcast about the Vineyard Improvement Program, and I wanted to discuss the application form in a little bit more detail. So there's going to be a number of attachments that you need to include, and if you haven't seen the first video, you might want to go back and watch that. Check out our website as well at LERGP.com for more information. But there's going to be some attachments you need to apply to this program. One of those is going to be what we're calling a business plan, and for some of our growers, it's going to look pretty much like a business plan for a new enterprise. So we're going to be taking a look at, we'll say, the 5 acres that you're reestablishing to another commodity, such as tree fruit, or to another variety of grapes, or just replanting Concords. And we'll be taking a look at how that improves the quality of the business, how yields might improve, how profits might improve, how access to markets might improve, anything like that that would justify your motivations for pulling out old vineyards and replanting new ones. Sometimes Concord vineyards are very old, yet they're still profitable, and we don't necessarily want to recommend or approve projects that would result in a grape grower losing money. On the other hand, this program is designed not just to improve the sustainability and profitability of individual farms, but takes into account the region as a whole. So if vineyards are abandoned and we're trying to reduce disease and insect pressure, if that's the part of the plan that you're trying to succeed at, it's going to look a little bit less like a traditional business plan and a little bit more like an IPM plan. So if you had a neighbor or you yourself has 100 acres of grapes and you've got 5 acres right in the middle that you can't market, and your choice is to either care for them and not sell them, or to abandon them and allow the disease pressure to penetrate all the neighboring acreage, that's creating some problems in our region as we've struggled with markets in the recent past. So we're trying to take care of that problem. So we'd want to articulate that in the plan. The other thing is we'd also be interested in showing how it would increase the environmental compatibility of the farm with neighboring vineyards, and this is going to look like a hybrid between a business plan and an IPM plan. So what we certainly don't want to do is have growers spraying insecticides and fungicides that might not necessarily be legal if the grapes are being marketed, but would be legal since they're not. It can be an inexpensive way to reduce disease pressure, and we want to avoid that, and that's what this funding is available for, so we can get unwanted acreage out of production and reduce that population of disease and insect pressure. So there's a couple different ways that business plan might be different than a traditional business plan, but regardless, the actual documentation will be part of the application materials, and if you need help developing that part of the application, you can contact me. You can give me a call, and if you have any questions, you can ask down below and also review the website. But I'd certainly be happy to help you with the application process and the business plan that goes along with it. There's going to be a couple of other attachments. Basically, what we're trying to do is develop a budget for the project to make sure you understand what it's going to cost, and also to understand what the match is versus what your obligations will be, and get that documented for your application so that not just you have an understanding of it, but Ag and Markets does, as well as LERGP as we go through the approval process. And I think that's all I have for now. If you have any other questions, like I said, feel free to give us a call.